Okay, good afternoon. Before we start interview, I would like you to introduce yourself and state down your candidate number.
Hi, my name is Lina Izzati Muhammad and my candidate number is 0023480065.
Okay, first, can you discuss about your team and why is it important to you?
I've come across this one religious book entitled Reclaim Your Heart by Yasmin Mogahed, and it attracts me on how it works in our life. So through this, I was inspired to do my projects based on one aim, which is beauty. Physical beauty is what everyone sees and knows, but only some people realize the beauty of blessings and the gift brought by God. What I mean is, if people see a painting as just a painting, then my efforts are worthless. Because the real aim of an artist is to deliver a thought or message. So, in my case, I want people to look beyond just a painting. For example, my work of the artistic beauty. This work shows a human's eye, which reflect the physical beauty of a person. If a person tends to go deep into it, they can feel that all the tiny elements that build the eye are beyond our level of thinking. Those kind of gifts are given for us to think of how amazing and great must be the creator, who because of the beautiful creations that the creator has made. For the technique, I use oil to paint the eye after tried using acrylic because I think that acrylic is somehow we left the painting a bit humdrum compared to the oil. Then I use small brush and made repetition of white dots for the shining effect, which is the pointillist technique. So the white dots will form a shape that will make the eye look shiny at the edge of the eye. And the background of the painting is of abstract form, just to emphasize on the subject matter, which most of the colors are blended together. Overall, for this work, there is one thing that I hope I can fix with this painting, which is the eyelashes. It is actually hard to control the brush and the smoothness of oil stroke in painting them. Besides of this artwork, I also have my first one, the unbeatable, which is about people's perception that changes over time. Nowadays, everything leads to beauty. In the past era, by looking at most of the old painting of houses are all based on the spirit of war and symbolizing the strength and the bravery. But for today, everything has completely changed. People use horses to symbolize beauty and wealth, which is very different compared to before. So this shows that the respect we have on horses are less because we treat them to be tamer than they are naturally created for. For the reference of this work, I refer to Sandra Palm, who is a professional pet artist, and she has many collections of horse drawings, and what attracted me the most is her charcoal drawing. And in my piece, I think that the usage of charcoal as the medium is easier to control in creating the values for body structure, and also the part with which are exposed more to light and are drawn in a lighter tone. And the most important thing is I choose to have this angle of horse body because it shows the elegance and beauty in the nature of a white horse.
Okay, next, what artistic process did you explore and why?
Okay, once I did my very first project, which is the unbeatable just now, I realized that my passion is into realism, but somehow in the 2 years of IB, I did try a few techniques such as abstract and figurative elements, which I found to be quite interesting. I love to try new styles and technique in order to explore this art. Then I might not like this one, but if it's a chance for me to try, then I will try. For example, the word silence, which is my biggest artwork so far, size about 5 times 3 feet. It is a combination of abstract and figurative element. So through this, I have proven that I can do new things out of my comfort zone. This work is also my best and the piece that I like the most out of all. This one is actually This one is the original idea is about the issue in Gaza massacre, but then I think that this painting also tells about the bad press of the Islam religion. Um, the black background of this painting symbolizes sorrow and grief, and the woman is chosen instead of a guy because in Islam the Prophet Muhammad has prohibited the killing of women in war. Means that the woman should have been protected. And this masterpiece is actually influenced by my visit to an art gallery at the National Bank in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The artworks are the three heads by Ahmad Zaki and the Shadow of My Dream by Wong Peng. These two are focused on figurative and abstract painting, so I combine them both to deliver my own personal thought. Besides that, I can also see so many beauty in the very simple attire of the woman, which is niqab. Niqab is a headgear with veil that only reveals the eye. For the architectural piece of Kampung Kraftangan, which is a handicraft village, this is like my own personal work about my childhood. This is where the place I learned how to be an artist. I start attending class of art. And this artwork is also inspired by Harun Mokhtar, who is an artist who tend to keep the Malay identity in all of his work. This is so inspiring because he tends to preserve our culture despite of following the current flow of trend. Besides that, the artwork also shows the cultural aspect on its design, like the balustrade, singarata roof, and hand carvings for the building's decoration. All of these are traditionally preserved due to its aesthetic value. And at first, my focus was only on using ink on plywood, but through many trials, I found that the usage of charcoal and acrylic are also needed in this painting. This is in order to achieve balance on the painting. Because lines is the basis of the artwork, I have to vary the thickness of the lines to give a better impact for the space. So overall, I think that to do this painting, I need to consider as well the angle of slanting, especially because this one is an architectural painting drawing. So this might be my very first architectural drawing this big, but we'll try to improve the skills in future.
So, are there any projects you would like to specifically highlight?
Actually, my painting varies within time. At the early stage, I am more focused on events in my own country because I think that it is important to visualize these events for a better remembrance and appreciation. For the first one, the legend, in the year of 2007, the first Malaysian, Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar Shukor, has traveled in space, and this is in terms of appreciation on his talent and deed for bringing Malaysia's name worldwide. And the spacesuit symbolizes the hero himself and is aesthetically matched with the reflection of rocket launching on the helmet. For the color gradation of the suit, I also uses raw umber and white with different percentage of mixture to vary the depth of the painting. So by doing this, the painting will be more outstanding and more lively. But I think that I should have done the reflection of the rocket in a fish eye form so that it will deliver a better message on it. For the second event in my project, The Last Stand, this is my first painting using acrylic, and I can say that this is a success for me. And the forms and shapes that connect each other made the painting is yet another piece to dive into. This painting was done because I've gone through a few personal experiences and research on the Gaza massacre. This whole issue is my choice and the biggest concern I've ever put in. Technically, I mixed the raw umber and ultramarine blue to do the shadowy part, and it is important to stress on the exposure of the building to sunlight because audiences will get a better interpretation to that. In spite of that, the painting is balanced as there are empty spaces of the sky and the sun, which also create focus of the dominance in the painting.
Okay, which medium do you like to work with, and why?
When I first tried using acrylic, I found that the medium is very interesting to be practiced, but somehow are very complicated to be used while traveling. And so for now, after I've explored some other mediums as well, I think I like drawing more than painting. That's the reason why my few latest artwork are of drawing with different mediums such as pencil, color pencil, soft pencil, and charcoal. There are two series of animals extinction, which are the first series. The first series is mainly drawn with color pencil and pencil, and I also use soft pastel to add some soft texture into it. The reason why I draw only half of the animal's body in a colored version because this represents the extinct process they're currently growing through. They are yet drawn in a portraiture as to show the willingness of how powerless they are to protect themselves in comparison to our technology. For me, this drawing is focused mainly on the detailing of colors choice to make the fur looks flowy and realistic. And the repetition of finer stroke will left the piece much better, and that is why I took longer time to finish up this one. And the second series for the animal extinction is I did a negative painting, which is a different approach than this first series. This one is like highlighting some parts of the animal face, like a minimalism style. For example, I only highlight the eye part or the ear part, just to give people some directions for this artwork exploration. Instead of using charcoal, I also applied ink on them because I think that the combination of these two on canvas beautify the works better. Different type of animals require different focus, which is quite challenging for me, but at the same time, it is good for my own experience. The line of the animal's faces form become a dominant for the work because there's nothing else in the painting. This is what I have said just now, minimalism style.
Okay, moving forward, what will you take from your works, and what will you continue to explore?
Basically, what come across my mind when I heard of this question is the way I deal with all the projects. I mean, it requires passion, especially if I want to have a better work. For me, the quality of work depends on how much time I spend for doing it. For example, my last project, which is Lamia Nun Alif, which wrote my name, Lina. This one is a digital print on canvas, which then followed by a drawing on white acrylic. Because it is a drawing, I can say that a drawing requires some special consideration and commitment from the artist, which is to be consistent and patient along the way. The thickness and the smoothness of the lines give a form of shape to differ between the light and dark values of the image. The darker part of the image was sketched multiple times to focus on the lighter part, which is the face. Besides, this technique was used as to show the meaning that a person can fix one's thought or judgment, but not as complete and perfect as theirs. However, the longer it takes to draw the missing part, the nicer it will be. Or in real life, getting to know one's inner self and try to be appreciative. But the texture of the acrylic is smooth and it is quite hard to sketch on. So I have to do repetitions of line and getting the right proportion of the image, especially for the headgear. And for the last question, what am I going to continue exploring is of course in realism, because I think that I can do better in this, and I think that this thing can lift me up in the future. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.